Watch this. One shoulder movement separates coordinated forehands from awkward ones, and most players get it completely wrong. Today, I want to focus on shoulder rotation, specifically turning and pushing the shoulder as the key to a proper forehand framework. Watch my shoulder here. If the shoulder doesn't rotate, you can never open up your hitting position. Turn the shoulder, push the shoulder forward. You must open it up. In a static forehand framework, especially for recreational players, the legs actually don't rotate that much. The movement is driven primarily by the hip, the waist, and the shoulder. Once you rotate your shoulder through, that forward push, that extension, appears naturally. That's where your power comes from. Next, can you grasp the principle I just explained? It's really quite simple. The body leading the hand, this single concept is absolutely critical for the forehand technique. When you face backspin in the future, all your power comes from this one move. Watch how the force comes out. It's all from the body. Why can't you generate power? Because you're not using your body correctly. When you rely only on the hand to generate force, you get errors and instability. That's the truth. So starting from the most basic forehand framework, you need to learn this body-driven movement first. Let me demonstrate. Now let me teach you how to open the body. First, in your ready position for the forehand, feel that your right hip, right side of the waist, and right shoulder are behind you. At the same time, your left shoulder faces the ball, left shoulder pointing straight ahead. Then, as you strike, feel your entire right side driving forward. Regardless of what your hand does, the shoulder's force direction is only forward. This transmits your forehand power completely. If you feel the shoulder isn't moving, that's a problem. If you feel the shoulder going upward, that disrupts your entire force chain, that's wrong. So in application, when the ball comes to any forehand position, feel your left shoulder facing the ball. As you strike, feel the shoulder's force pushing forward. Keep both shoulders level. Watch, on topspin, I rotate then push forward. On backspin, same thing, rotate, push. All shots require the shoulder to open. Once you open the shoulder, the hip naturally opens too. Once the hip opens, the body's kinetic chain is basically complete. Then now let's talk about the hip. The hip is a real difficulty for recreational players. You never quite feel that forward hip push. Think of the hip as the link connecting your upper and lower body, a twisting band. You can understand it as part of turning the waist or as pushing the hip forward. Now, the most common mistake recreational players make at this stage. Watch what this looks like. It looks correct, but where's the mistake? Watch closely. The movement goes upward. When is upward acceptable? Against backspin, when you drop down first, you can bring it up. That's fine. But against topspin, don't go up. The topspin will already carry your arm upward. You can't have the body going up while the hand goes forward. Those two forces oppose each other. You'll feel disconnected, like the body and arm are fighting. So your body's force direction against topspin must match your arm's direction. They work together, not against each other. Exactly right. Against topspin, the primary force direction is forward. How do I achieve forward? I need to press my weight into my legs so I can drive forward, slightly forward and downward, pressing to hold my center of gravity down. Watch my body here. This hip issue is very important. When you rotate, your weight stays loaded on the right leg. You do not shift to the left leg first and then transfer back to the right. That's completely reversed. The correct sequence: weight loads on the right leg, force transmits forward, and the left side of your body catches and holds the energy. As you push forward, the left side braces, but it's not a full transfer onto the left leg.
正常应该是压在右腿上，往前传导，左半身收住力量。过渡到前顶的时候，左半身收住力量。它也不是完全压到左腿上。
Don't collapse onto the left leg. I push forward and the left side catches the force. The energy transfers toward the left leg, but the moment a portion of that force arrives, the left side locks stop rotating. Now the common mistake, weight starts on the left leg then shifts to the right, completely backwards. The second mistake is squatting down and popping up. Why does this happen? Because from your backswing you're already wrong. You should be loading weight on this side.
你为什么会出现这个问题？因为从你的大家晚上好啊，从你的眼拍开始你就错了，你应该压到这一面，你才能完成。
The force transmits from the loaded right side forward. Because you're right-handed, your left side braces on that plane while your right side drives through. If you squat, you pop up. If your left leg bears the load first, you end up rotating onto the right leg, exactly reversed. This is incredibly common. In all our training camps, so many players have the weight transfer backwards. To build proper body mechanics, remember, left shoulder faces the ball, right shoulder pushes through. The reason you can't generate body power is that you haven't truly committed your weight onto the right leg. Once the right leg is loaded, the force builds like a compressed spring. It stores, then releases forward, then the left side catches. Store, push forward, catch. That's the correct force transmission. After that, let me teach you a drill to feel the difference between rotation and the forward push. I want you to work through 3 key points. First, stand with your left leg pressed against the edge of the table. Let your right leg sit slightly behind. When you rotate, your left leg stays touching the table. When you push forward, your right leg drives your hip into the table. Left, right, left, right. The left leg braces against the table first, then the right side pushes through until your hip contacts the table edge. Then reset and repeat. Watch my legs carefully. Now the common problem is this: most players feel uncomfortable in a low stance, so they push the force upward instead of forward, or they straighten up too early. But look, when you load that right leg properly, watch what happens. Every professional player, whether you see them from the front or the back, loops with the leg compressed, weight sitting low. They all play with that loaded leg. Nobody loops standing tall on a straight leg. None of the pros loop with a stiff, locked leg, none. The reason I have you practice this way is so you can feel it comfortably first. Once you get this down, you'll naturally discover the sensation of pressing the leg and driving the hip forward. Watch, press the leg, drive the hip. Press, drive. This is what hip engagement actually feels like. Try this method, it really works. You'll start to trust the feeling, get used to it, and then you can apply it when you play. Think of the table edge as a barrier. Your body reaches it and stops so you won't lunge past it. Your left side contacts the table first, then your right side transfers force forward into it. Left side, right side. Left side, right side. Go home and feel this energy transfer. You don't need to do it fast. Just relax, rotate, then drive forward. Rotate, drive. When this motion clicks, that's your body channeling force forward through the kinetic chain. Moving on, these 3 points are absolutely fundamental corrections for developing players. Fix them, and your game transforms. Now let's talk about the backhand, specifically separating the forearm from the upper arm. Many players can't separate the forearm from the upper arm on the backhand. Watch, this type of player simply doesn't rotate the forearm. They push as one stiff unit. Here's how you fix it. Hold your racket in front of you elbow level and pivot the forearm around the elbow as a fixed point. The elbow stays still, only the forearm rotates. Watch me demonstrate. Feel that isolation first. Don't squeeze too hard or you'll rub the skin raw. Just practice this pivot. Forearm separates from upper arm. This single drill helps enormously with forearm independence.
皮磨破，
对，磨破了。
就练这个。
对，大手臂分开，对你大手臂分开帮助特别大。
My
对，
backhand quality comes from exactly this snap.
就是因为我这
Watch,
一
it's
下
this
我
one
练
motion.
练它太
Penhold
顺了
grip is the
就是
same
这一下
principle,
指
just a
头也
different
一
grip
样，你指头
orientation.
玩儿
对，
You're
对
missing
对
this
指甲是
final
一样的。
forearm turnover. Without it, you're just pushing, lifting, or guiding the ball. Practice that isolated pivot until the framework locks in. Where does backhand power come from?
你这
It
个练
comes from
好
this
了，
snap right
自
here.
然这个
Let me show it with a
这个方
penhold
向
grip
就特别
too,
好。
same
这
thing.
种质量是怎么产生的？不就
Watch
靠
the
这个
flick, the
对，
rip,
给
the
它做
loop.
一个
They all use that same forearm rotation I just demonstrated. You load it, then release.
你看我一做，
Every backhand variation is built on that one motion.
拉，你看拉，不都是刚才我做那一下，对不对？
是的。
你看蓄力拉，蓄力拉，
就是这个爆发力全是靠这下出来的。
全靠这一下产生。
That explosive snap, all the power comes from this one moment. If your backhand feels weak, your frame isn't right, practice it this way. If your forehand feels stuck, like you're just pushing, open the elbow the way I showed you. If you can't engage the hip, drill left hip, right hip, right hip. These methods are for building awareness.
这些方法
Now, here's the important thing. When you try this, it will feel wrong at
来到
first.
现场他都面临
It won't
现在
feel as
我刚才
comfortable
说
as
的这个问
before
题
because you've been doing it wrong for so long. If the new motion felt the same as your old one, you wouldn't need to be here. Trust the process. Get familiar with the correct feeling first. Build that connection. Then it will show up in your game naturally. If you just hear this and go straight back to playing without isolated practice, you won't break the old habit, it's too deeply ingrained. Do the correct motion enough times and it will become comfortable. Until then, yes, it's going to feel awkward.